First, we heard that Mark Wahlberg bought a $47.5 million house in Delray Beach, Florida. A couple weeks later, we found out that it was a $32.6 million house in Delray Beach, Florida. Which one is it? Stay tuned, and I'll explain. So which is it? Was Mark Wahlberg's house $47.5 million, or was it $32.6 million? Truth is, it was both. Mark Wahlberg bought a house in Stone Creek Ranch, a community I'm very familiar with. And if you check out my podcast or check out some more of these videos, I'm going to tell you all about my history at Stone Creek Ranch. But Mark Wahlberg's history is he bought an amazing house called Palazzo Di Lago, and it was listed for $47.5 million. I actually took a tour of this house when it was first came to market for another one of my buyers, but he ended up buying something else. But Palazzo Di Lago, it's an amazing property in Stone Creek Ranch. It was $47.5 million, but it's fully furnished. And with real estate, when someone buys or sells real estate in the contract, you're dealing with the real property. You're dealing with the land and the improvements, the house and the fixtures. But beds and linens and furniture aren't. So a lot of times when someone buys, even especially in the condominiums, like a Ritz-Carlton condominium, when someone buys a fully furnished unit, they don't want the recording fees and the taxes, the real estate taxes you pay based on the purchase price. They don't want it to include the personal property. So when someone buys a $47.5 million property that was fully furnished, sometimes it will go to the property records office as, in this case, as is Mark Wahlberg's case, $32.6 billion, the difference being the personal property. So it was a $47.5 million house. It's not like it was overly reported and exaggerated when we all first heard that he bought a $47.5 million house and were disappointed when we heard that it was only $32.6 million. It is the same house. It is the same deal. He just didn't pay the recording fees and the taxes on the personal property. You know, there are other celebrities in Stone Creek Ranch. Stephen Cohen, the owner of the Mets, he owned a beautiful house in Stone Creek Ranch when back in 2009 when I first became president of the HOA over there. And then as the newer spec homes started building, he actually sold one and moved into a newer house. So and then it was in the news that Steve Cohen bought this house and moved to Stone Creek Ranch. Well, he already lived there. But there's a lot of celebrities and famous people in Stone Creek Ranch. One of my personal favorites, Charles Woodson, came in while I was working in the sales center. I wore a lot of hats in Stone Creek Ranch because, as I explained, I owned 19 lots that we took possession of back in 2009, and then I had to sell the lots. So I was president of the Stone Creek Ranch Homeowners Association, but I was also the director of sales, but I was also the seller. So Charles Woodson and his people, they came in, they bought 2 lots, beautiful lot. Him and his manager, they were each going to build a house, and they were on other sides of the community, both with sweeping views of the lake. You know, you buy something, you put it in the corner, you don't even open it. He never came back. We never heard from him again. And a couple years later, the lots were listed for sale, and then they were sold. But yeah, Stone Creek Ranch, an incredible community. Stephen Cohen, owner of the Mets, Charles Woodson, Wayne Huizenga Jr., and now Marky Mark. But question, where's the Funky Bunch going to live? Stone Creek Ranch in Delray Beach, Florida, an absolutely incredible community, 187 acres, 37 home sites, each 2.5 acres or more. I've been selling there and working there since 2009. Sometimes I feel like the corner of Lyons and Clintmore Road is my wheelhouse, but it's amazing to watch it grow. If you want more information about Stone Creek Ranch, go to stonecreekranch.com. Currently, there are 3 homes for sale, $22 million, $23 million, and $47.5 million. $47.5 million is a beautiful home. They describe it as the pinnacle of lots. $23 million is Le Maison Blanche, and $22 million is Villa Ananda. And it's very interesting when these houses, when they get names. I remember selling a house in Boca West in their most prestigious area called the Island. And we built a spec house, and I don't remember who it was, but someone suggested to me that when marketing a house like this, you have to give it a name. So it really took off, and I got reminded of that recently in Stone Creek Ranch, when one of the builders came in and built 5 or 6 spec homes, each of them had a name and each of them had a theme. And Stone Creek Ranch, which was a community of multi-million-dollar homes, $12 million homes, all of a sudden became $20 million homes. And this took it to the next level to $40 and $50 million homes, these houses that had names and had themes. So it's an interesting piece of marketing. As I said, Mark Wahlberg bought Palazzo Di Lago. There's another house out there that's absolutely spectacular. My absolute favorite one is Villa Spectre. If you Google Villa Spectre, Delray Beach. If you don't include Delray Beach, you're going to get the James Bond movie. But if you include Delray Beach in your Villa Spectre search, you're going to see the house that Mark Wahlberg wishes he would have bought. And then you also have Villa Ananda and La Maison Blanche, the White House.